4 times a year, we get together for a very special show. Well, actually 5. We have a wrap up of the whole year, but we extend that to 3 hours. However, 4 times a year, we get together for a wrap up of highlights and the special moments of the Let's Talk Fabulous show. And today, you're lucky enough to be a part of this show. So without further ado, it's time. And let's talk. Yes, I promised the Fab Five, and in spirit, we have one of the Fab Five. She got called into work, our Barbara J. Beckley, the Diamond. Yet we've got her represented. She's in spirit, and she's got clips that we've shared. And without further ado, what I want to do is go around the room. I want the Fab Five to tell us who they are and where they are, and then we're going to dive into it. I'm Tamara L. Hunter. I am the creator and producer of the show, and I am in the heartland of America in the Ozarks, right in the middle of the U.S. Kim?
Absolutely, yes. My name is Kim O'Neill. I am, in addition to being a host here, I'm also an interview coach and an authentic confidence coach for everyday living, and I am located in Southern California and happy to be here.
Wonderful. Gloria?
I am Gloria Grace Rand, and I am coming to you from Melbourne, Florida, on the other side of the country.
Yeah, on the other side. I was just over in that neck of the woods. And Joy.
Mm-hmm. Well, hi, I'm Joy Willett, excited to be here, and I'm beaming in from sunny Southern California.
I love it when you say that. You're beaming in. Okay, we're going to set the mood, the tone. Let's start. And yeah, let's talk.
Humanity is waking up. We've been on an amazing journey, a physical, mental, and spiritual journey. We've faced crossroads where we've had to choose between a path of fear or one of love. And now we stand at a precipice unlike ever in our recorded history. Changes to our world are unfolding before our eyes in every aspect of our lives. We face a choice, both individually and collectively as the human race. Are we going to face these times with fear, seen as a lack of money, concern for health, relationships, physical threats, perhaps even a fear to even make a choice? Or we can choose for ourselves and help others toward a path of love, leading toward joy, bliss, gratitude, a path filled with remembering our original instructions given to us by this earth, by all life, shown to us through nature, leading us back to our own true nature. This is a time of remembering, being reminded, reconnecting to centuries-old wisdom carried forward by our ancestors. Our course toward our destiny will be determined by our connection to who we are. We must listen to our heart and our soul's wisdom, and seeking connection and knowing. We're being called into humble service to each other, to the earth, and to all life here and beyond. The call is real, and it's now. Are you ready?
We want to thank Steampunk Poe, also known as Skip Thomas, for that beautiful video. And what do you guys think? We're doing a call to action, and we got together as a group for this show. And I'd like to hear from you all right now. And I'm going to start with Gloria.
I knew you were going to call on me. I just have that feeling. Well, I just love that because I love being a part of the show and helping others to lead fabulous lives. So I'm just, it really is. It's all about that video set it up so beautifully. So thank you, Steampunk Poe, for doing that. Yeah.
Kim?
Yeah, I absolutely love being part of the show. It's the team effort, how we all contribute, and also I love the variety, but I also love how it's got the service component that we're always trying to just really be connected with others and uplift. I love that part.
Perfect. And Joy.
Gosh, that what Steampunk Poe just delivered to everyone here, it's so powerful. And it really comes to that place of being authentic in ourselves. And that's what this show is all about, is where we each, in our own way, create something for everyone here in the audience that is of service, of heart, and hopefully helps everybody too, including ourselves. Thank you for letting me be on this show. I'm very grateful.
Yep. And then we have Barbara Beckley. I want to just, keep mentioning that she's a vital part of what we do. Okay, so what we are doing right now is we're taking you through just a little bit of a memory lane that for the last 3 months we have had 12 shows. Pretty exciting stuff. And they're all here to entertain you, make you think, raise the vibration, yes, and the frequency, and more. We're going to give little highlights, little clips, and I want you guys to have your pen and paper by you because we want to encourage you to go back to your favorite social media or even to e360tv.com on the Fresh Takes channel on demand. Yes, our shows are now on demand. Woohoo! We're like Netflix. and so go watch these shows. Write down which ones really resonate with you. Wink, wink. And so we're going to go forward. The first one started in that I was the host. It was about the service heroes. Yes, I had the show, and it was Good Deeds Day. And one of our guests, an entertainer, well-known entertainer, traveled with Gap Band and many things like this. He actually spoke from the heart about being a good deed doer. Let's watch. Sometimes you just got to laugh. And Victor, you laugh, you cry, you came into the buddies and you were actually in there serving. You had let me know, but you didn't let anybody else know at the time that you were actually testing and you were just getting some results, and yet you were serving others. Good deed doer. Let's go back into that. I want to explore that a little bit more because you have chosen through all of this to be giving back, and you're still doing that. You made it through and you're looking at how can I give back today?
Yeah, well, exactly. I look at it that is exactly it. I made it through. So I'm born in Texas, Dallas, Texas. I have Puerto Rican roots, but in Texas, along with your birth certificate, you have helping and sharing and giving back and manners and characteristics and integrity. That's on your birth certificate when you're born. So us Texans, people will roll over in their graves if we're not helping people. So the day that you asked me to come on and talk to some more chemo people that needed some talking to and some laughter and stuff, that's the same day I had gotten that I had prostate cancer. And I figured out, well, I got it. I'm still here. Some other people are a little worse than me on the other end of the spectrum. Let me go do that, and then I'll get back to dealing with me later. And which I did, and I got everything cleared up and I got cleared. But most of the time while I'm talking to people, it's through laughter, just to cheer them up, make them laugh, to get them out, because I know how heavy it is on men's minds or on anybody's minds. A, that you have cancer. B, thank God it didn't spread to anywhere else. C, unfortunately, I had 3 people pass on since I had my cancer, meaning there's a plan for me, there's a reason for me, because I'm still here. And if telling, joking, musically, helping someone in any way, small way, medium way, or large way, that's my purpose. And I appreciate God putting me in that, giving me that job.
Love him. Okay, so who are the buddies? And when he was saying the chemo people and such, now we talk about here at the show, all roads lead back to the buddies. You're going to see Barbara Beckley in this little clip, and then we're going to go forward to the next show. And Gloria, you're up next.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
Share this with your friends and family and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
So, if you want to watch the Good Deeds Day, it was our April 6th show. And yes, we're in our 6th season. It was episode 14. And yes, all roads lead back to the buddies. And I do want to recognize our senior ambassador and production coordinator that is in our audience today, Caroline Brown. Without you, I don't know what we do. So, thank you so much for everything you do. So next, we're going to fall forward. What's falling forward? We're going to find that out in a moment. And we'll bring Gloria on to explain. You can see she was the host of our April 13th show. Here's a clip.
And I will say this. I think it's very important you build your community before you need it. I could go on a soapbox about that, but women are meant biologically to live in community. There's a study recently that women over 35 are lonelier than they've ever been, which is so crazy because we have all these ways to connect, but we're very socially connected through social media, but we're alone. And so really invest to make the time and the effort to build your community. But when people say, can I help you? I think as women, we are so conditioned to be strong that we say, oh, I don't need anything. Oh, I don't need anything. I'm okay. I got it. I'm good. I got it. Right. And I just want to challenge that because I want you to think about when you help somebody and you do something for them, how do you feel? You feel so good. Yeah. You feel so good that I could bring Deb a meal in the hospital, or I could, drive Christine to an appointment that she needed to go to, or babysit for Amanda or whatever. We feel good when we help people. And so when people say, how can I help you? And we say, I don't need anything. We're literally taking away the opportunity from those people to experience that good feeling, to experience the way we feel when we help each other. So saying, yes, I need help doesn't make us weak. It actually just allows somebody else to experience the joy of being able to give.
That was fabulous. That was a great show. There were so many wonderful tips in that show. What else did you feel from that show?
Oh gosh, yeah, there were so many. It was hard to narrow it down because it was, it's all about cultivating resilience, really being able to, take the knocks that life throws our way and being able to, instead of letting it have us fall backwards and knock us out, but have us fall forwards to be able to continue to go forward. And I loved what Tara talked about. And it's what you've already said, with the chemo buddies, how important community is for that, because when we've got people there who can help us when we do go through challenges, it's so much easier than trying to go through it alone. So, yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. In fact, I did pull one more clip from this because you had one person that I want the buddies especially to hear this message. And I want you to listen to it, rewatch it, and go to the original show. And this is an assignment. It's not a suggestion. Wink, wink. Here you go.
Wow. Well, I think that resilience has become my middle name. Back in 2015, I was diagnosed with what eventually would be called stage 4 triple positive metastatic breast cancer. And that was a blow unto itself. But I have also been diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma. That sounds scary, but it's a pretty basically just a easy to treat skin cancer. I also was diagnosed almost 2 years ago with thyroid cancer. So 3 different types of cancer. Along the way, I've suffered multiple critical complications. I've now had about 35 surgical procedures, and I just keep going. And I think that's what we all have to remember is just keep going.
I love that. Just keep going. And we're going to continue going right now into our next show, In the Miracles of Renewal, which was aired on Easter Day. And yes, I got 4 of my friends here. Many of you know them. We've got Skip Thomas in that group, and also someone else that's been around in my life for a number of years. And he actually is a rock star. I mean, a verified rock star. In fact, he is a top producer on TikTok. He even talked about that. So you might want to watch this show for a variety of different reasons. So here we go.
Before the world changed, I was living my dream, working as a pro drummer in LA, immersed in the rhythm of the music scene. Then the pandemic hit, gigs vanished, and the music fell silent. I returned to Missouri, trading drumsticks for shifts at a cornstarch plant. Amid this silence, I lost my mentor and best friend, Gary Miller, the visionary behind Rock Against Trafficking. His passing deepened my sense of loss, making the world seem even more silent. I needed to find a way to carry on Gary's legacy, and I needed to get back to doing what I loved. And thus I began drumming on TikTok.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Back in my element, I found quick success and soon decided it was time to return to LA. I was able to secure the very same house and studio where Gary had been living, and within a number of weeks, I had become the #1 live streaming drummer on TikTok. Over the following 8 months, I helped to establish a thriving drumming community and gave birth to a successful talent agency. I'm breathing new life and renewed hope into Rock Against Trafficking and carrying on the legacy that Gary Miller started. I've manifested my perfect life in a very short amount of time, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. You see, your best life, it's right there in front of you. All you have to do is realize it.
I love that video. I love it. Every time I watch it, I'm like I want to start singing it. I don't know the words, but I'm like, something that would be like, and I want to say that was Easter Day, and it was that much more impactful. Many of you here, in fact, I know Joy, you knew Gary, and Kim, I'm not sure if you ever really did. He was down in Southern California, but Gloria, you know of him. And he and Jamie were the first recipients of the Service Heroes Award. It was a really big deal. We did it down in LA. We did a summit and, Spirit Summit. It was a subset, and it was a really special event. And in that show, Skip Thomas actually, in his alter ego, actually produced something that I want to play, because he had told me about an experience he had, that he had just found this church in the back roads of where he is living now in Arkansas. And it inspired him so much. And then he said, I want some of the photos of some of our buddies that have gained their wings, and I want to pay tribute. And so we had the tribute, if you will, for Gary Miller and Jamie, because it was Easter, and yet it was all about the miracles of renewal. And I would like to share this experience, because no one tells a story quite like Skip. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say happy springtime. It's Easter. People are celebrating renewal of all kinds. That's why I'm sitting on a tractor. You plant seeds, and they start to bloom and grow. And so many wonderful people have gotten their wings and moved on. We are who we are because of so many wonderful people we've come in contact with. So I'd like to sing this song in tribute to a person who sang it for Chris Cornell in a tribute, and then he passed away, and that's the Lincoln Park group, and it's called One More Light.
A few days ago, I came upon this old church on a dirt road, built in 1918. It was open, so I sat down in the back row. I began to feel the love, the light of those who meant so much to us.
Your reminders pull the floor from our feet. In the kitchen, one more chair than we need. And some are angry and should be. It's not fair. Just 'cause you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. If they say, who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, it flickers. Who cares if someone time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I
do.
So what do you guys think? Kim, I saw you reacting.
I couldn't help it. Tamara, you said you wanted tears today. You got it. Oh, that was a beautiful song and video. And yeah, I mean, you know, it shows how much we impact each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the lasting impact we can have on each other. And it's nice that we can distill things down to the love, you know, right? Bring it back to that. So yeah, that's just what was coming through.
I love it. In fact, right now is an appropriate time for the Purple Pen Hearts Club. Let's share. Forever remembered. Gloria, you're shaking your head.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. And I'm also trying to holding back the tears because I recognized a couple names or faces in that video. And also just, you know, knowing I've got actually a family member right now who's going through, you know, this cancer journey for a second time for her as well. And so, yeah, it's I still makes me feel that I'm so grateful that we have this platform that we can help others, you know, that we really can inspire people in spite of all the stuff that's going on in your life, that you can still live a fabulous life.
I love it. And Joy, do you have a little piggyback onto that?
Sure. Yeah, I had tears seeing a couple of our beautiful loved ones up on that screen. And it just, I also am so grateful to Skip Steampunk Poe for actually creating that. What a beautiful way to honor and to bring back the souls that have impacted us, you know, whether in big ways or small ways. And, you know, it's just something that on this show we get to do also, is to bring in that those loving remembrances as well as to bring what's most important, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you. And in fact, we're going to move on now. And, you know, because we have a variety. It's about, you know, it's the Let's Talk Fabulous show, and we explore our fabulous lives. And we do it with 5 different hosts that we take a wide variety of subjects, and yet we are able to take it and go back to the spoke, go back to the hub of the wheel, go back, in a variety of ways, the 360 back in. And it's all about exploring our fabulous lives with our heart and, raising the consciousness, and on and on and on. Yeah. Also, we have practical skills that we talk about. And so our diamond, Barbara J. Beckley, she did, and again, write it down, guys, April 27th, her show was Daily Habits That Shape Your Destiny. And we're going to share a clip from that show.
Everything that happens to us, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it has a silver lining. We don't always see it at the moment, but if we can, it can take away some of the stress that we experience. And taking away stress is a big part of being able to leave that legacy that we're after. And so that's my tip, is everything that happens, always think of what the silver lining is, the one little thing that you can take away and say, yeah, that was good.
And you know what? She also, one of her guests sent in something kind of like inspiring. And I'm like, okay, it's inspired me a couple times. In fact, I was so inspired, I'll tell you after.
Hi, I'm Sasha Walton. I'm a business strategist and CEO of SWI Management Group. And one habit that I have that I am so mindful of, and I just actually came from the gym. So I will always say to create a habit that you can just zone out, disconnect. Disconnecting from the norm, the busyness, as busy professionals, busy moms, busy entrepreneurs, whatever it is that you're doing, find a way of disconnecting. Disconnecting allows you to find yourself and to regain that strength, that joy, that resilience that you actually need. And a lot of times when you're burnt out and just going all the time, you don't make time for yourself, it's easy to just get lost. So disconnecting to refine yourself, repurpose yourself is always a great thing. And I will add this, it helps you to stay within your capacity of knowing what you can handle for each day. That is my tip and my habit.
I don't know about you guys, but I needed that motivation. And so I did. That week, I did go back and I renewed my gym membership. And, I've been grateful for it. So, we do learn from our shows. I don't know about you guys, but I know I do. I'm always taking, I think, Caroline is now on how many books that she's written, notes and everything since we started back in October of 2022. That's a little bit of a, trivia. If you ever want to know, when did this show start? October 2022. All right, we're going to go on. Now, this one, there was a lot of discussion before this show. A lot of discussion. And I think someone's laughing. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. The subject, sexy single summer. Okay, so we had a lot of discussion about this show, where we were going with it and everything. And I was like, be fabulous with this show, and I will say it is the top watched show on our YouTube channel. I mean, can ya believe it? Yeah, I can, because we put that much energy into something, it's going to produce something pretty cool. So here's a clip. Actually, I'm going to share a clip, and then I'm going to share a vibe. So we're going to go kind of back to back here, and then we're going to talk to the one that was laughing with me, Kim. Okay, here we go.
I could feel that this energy between us was really calling for it. It was like I was showing up as I am, who I am in all of my entirety. And that was what not only did I want to convey in my walk, I had claimed it. Yes. And there is nothing sexier than a woman who has claimed herself. Mm-hmm. Did not matter how old I was, didn't matter how I looked. Those guys, they gave me a 10 every week.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, it's Coach Ivana here. Happy day. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. I just want to talk to you about having this sexy and single summer. Yes. Good for you. My job is to discuss what that feels like. What emotional space are we going in having this sexy and single summer? I mean, look, it can go from anywhere from being absolutely amazing to maybe not that great. So we can have some amazing insights, have some amazing conversations on what does a sexy single summer feel like. I'm here for all the alliteration, and I'm here to help with Coach Ivana Rocks. Let's talk. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I put the banner back up because I know people are like, okay, what show was that one again? Okay, go to YouTube because let's just keep the numbers going up. I mean, you know, that one's like totally off the charts. So at least for us. Okay, let's talk. I mean, you almost backed down on that show a bit, you know, but then you're like, no, we can do this show. I know it's going to be great. And you just really rocked it and you knocked it out of the park.
We had so much conversation that really centered around the usage of the word sexy, right? Because there can be an immediate assumption of what that is. And I recognize that, but also, and more than anything, and really all the panelists on that episode really brought it, it was a mindset. It's really about, like, everything that both of those two guests had said. It was about owning it. It's not about if you're in a relationship or if you're single, but it's about like your individual experience. I know the word single was in there, but it's about your like individual experience, like really like embracing and owning this phase of life, this phase of the year, and just really like feeling that and being in it and loving it, loving yourself, and like creating that ripple effect. That's what it was about. Was that energy?
And I have to say, your people were spectacular in it. And so, yeah, I'm going to put, it one more time up here, you guys. It is the May 4th show, Sexy Single Summer. Go watch it. Go have fun. Write down some notes. There's some practical tips in there too. And it's very inspiring. We're going to move on because the next one, you actually were the host 2 weeks in a row. And in fact, one of your people was on both. And I wanted to highlight this because of the fact that many of us in this stage of our lives, are really balancing that whole sexy thing. And then also, this was Mother's Day. And being a parent, being a mom, celebrating our children, celebrating that peace in our life. And you just you rocked it.
Thanks. The conversation went in a direction I wasn't anticipating. It was powerful. It was very powerful and meaningful. And the guests brought it, but I'll say, like, I wasn't expecting the direction it went, and yet it was very relevant. So I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. In fact, you set up that. Let's go into one clip, and then I'm going to actually share the video that the guest that was on 2 weeks in a row shared with us because it was very impactful. We're going to go back to back on these.
So, I can like really speak to that. And even what Norman said in his video about, not treating what we want to be different as a disease and to find the place of acceptance. In Sydney's world, that is like so literal from the time she was born, because she is unique and difference exists. Everyone around us is in that space of how do we make her something different than she is. And to get to that place to find, it's kind of like there's tolerance, there's like indifference, and then there's tolerance, and then there's acceptance, and then there's value. So when you get to the conversation of true value of a child, of a person, that's, I think, when everything changes into that space that you were just asking about, right? It's the uniqueness of each individual has the power to transform all of us. Sydney, in the space that she's in, is in a visible, I am different than everybody around us. And the amount of time that she has spent in her life with people looking at her with disdain or dismissal or fear is so significant that for me to have found the spaces and the places when I can to create value. Like all of us are so valuable exactly as we are. We bring a powerful uniqueness. But trying to help people and children know that there is not a single thing about them that they have to change for us to value them. You know, like that's like like the space of the ultimate conversation as a parent. And I, you know, just we're in that community all the time. It is like she is put here to say to the world, look, I'm amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm amazing exactly as I am.
Oh
and
my goodness.
You know what? I think that's the biggest challenge, because all of us have been taught we are not amazing and we are not beautiful. We are not everything unless we conform to whatever parameters are around us. And she is that gift that says, nah, that ain't the truth, man. Just show up. Just you're amazing because you were born here. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
That was a big deal.
I am so excited to be back here on this Mother's Day edition. And all I have to say is I had an experience with my children, especially my son, where I realized that my only job in this life is to love and accept that this is their reality that they are going through, and that I get to love every part of them. Whether I understand it or not, it doesn't make a difference. My only job is to love and accept that this is their reality and support them and love them in any way I can. So I invite you, if you're having a hard time with your babies, figure it out, because you're the problem. It's not them. They came here to be your perfect teacher, and you'll be grateful when you figure that part out.
What a beautiful tribute to Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I just want to say that, you know, if you guys didn't watch this show, this is one right now. I think that we just made the case that you need to go back and watch the May 11th, 2025 show. Go to E360.com, Fresh Takes channel, on demand. Go watch it, because you're going to be touched. This is just a preview of a jam-packed show. Have your tissue ready. You're going to need 2 boxes, you know, truly. And with that said, we're going to move on, because we've got a lot going on. And I do want to explore this one, because this is a big one for our group. The power of your circle. And this was our dear Barbara J. Beckley, her group. And what we're going to do is we're going to do another back-to-back, where we're going to share a clip of the show. And then we're going to share the person that's talking, her video, because she references it. So let's go there, and then we're going to talk about this subject.
And I had videoed something on the road, because Barbara called me and I was just about ready to get on the road. So I said, oh, I'll video something from the hotel. So I videoed something from the hotel that was awful. I was like, oh, this is just not going to be okay. I'm like, when I get home tomorrow on Monday, I'll do something. So I get home Monday to no power. So no power, no internet, no water. Fire in a main power line caught fire. And so I unpacked and repacked and packed all my food up and went to my mother's, who lives in town, thankfully. And so the next morning we were having coffee and just kind of talking, and I was talking about this community, and she just like went right to it. And it was so different than what the original video I had done was. So I videoed that from my mom's, but it was the most perfect example, because as soon as, like, you can go without talking to your neighbors, and I live a little bit in the country, so I don't have many like direct neighbors, but there's an app that a lot of communities have that's called Nextdoor, and it can be completely quiet. And then when something like this happens that impacts the entire community, everybody is on there going, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? Does anybody know what happened? Do you need anything? And it's like, it's those times where everybody just gathers together. But it's the times between those times that I think is where you really have to focus and build the community that's going to be there for you in between the chaos. And for my mom, she lives on a block, and they look out for each other. And she's lived there for, I don't even know how many decades at this point, and they all look out for each other. But it's like you can have online communities, you can have there's just so many different ways. But the essence of what the community is, when we were talking about it, was those through lines, that you're supportive, you can support, you can trust them. They're there for you, no matter when or where you need them.
I had coffee this morning with my mom, and I brought up the question of what community is. My initial thinking was around the knowledge that as humans, we need community to survive, that we were never intended to live alone. My mom, she went right to the heart. It's a group of people that look out for each other. I love that. Who those people are evolves and shifts and sometimes changes completely. She has several communities and told me about two of them. One built of her neighbors, another her close friends in town. I started thinking about all of my various communities, realizing that I as well have many. And the common denominator in all of them is acceptance, encouragement, truth, and support. What are your communities? And what are the commonalities that show up in all of them?
Okay, this might be a quick question. Did you see Barbara in there? I mean, you see her here. You see her here. But did you see her on the clip?
Oh.
I don't have the blooper from it. I wish I did, but I don't, guys. But with that said, we got Kim there. So that would have been our blooper show, right, Kim?
It was absolutely our blooper show. Had I known that I was really going to be coming up on screen, I would have worn something different. But it was such a, I think, key moment too that happened, because that was right at the very beginning of the show. We didn't expect it. Barbara, had some Wi-Fi thing going on, and so I just temporarily came on and was leading. And I think it maybe part of that same clip or somewhere right before it, where Erica had talked about it's moments like these where the power of your circle comes into play, because that was the moment where it's like, oh, Barbara's not going to be able to step up immediately. And so I was able to flow in. And I just thought that was really nice that she, highlighted the significance of us having that little snafu where internally I'm like, uh-oh, trying to, even though I've done this before, still kind of like feeling thrown around. And yet it was absolutely key to the topic and what we're all about.
It couldn't have been better timing. And the thing about it too, that many people may not also understand, is that we had just had a meeting not long before that. And we've been talking about the fact that the way that our show is structured, and this is a service-oriented show. We are a give back show. We are all volunteers doing this show. We charge nothing for this show. This is a gift for all of you, our viewers. And yet we're very organized. And so we do have structure. And Kim was in that structure. She was ready. She was under the line, and we had been talking about kind of the behind the scenes things, and boom, the universe had a way to show community in so many levels. So again, the power of your circle, go back and watch it, and watch the blooper, catch it, see if you get it, what we're talking about, because it's fun. And we're going to move on, because we're going to move to Joy. They're like, okay, what's Joy here? Because she's one of the Fab Five, and she did have shows, and we're going to go on to her shows. And you did the one of my favorite. There's a few holidays in the year, and our our show captures, because we're a Sunday show, and many times holidays will hit on Sundays. And this was a holiday weekend, and she chose, what does Memorial Day mean to you? And we have two clips, one of which our network co-CEO was one of her guests, and that is the beautiful Julianne Meyer. And we're going to share hers, and then we're going to share a get your tissue ready, guys, because a very impactful video clip that is going to touch your heart, I'm sure, as much as it's touched ours. And then we're going to hear from Joy.
Memorial Day hits a little bit differently for me. I've lived in other countries, and those experiences have given me a unique perspective. When you've seen how differently people live around the world, you really do start to understand just how much we've been given here and how much has been sacrificed for us to have it. Hi, I'm Julianne Meyer. I'm the co-CEO of E26 TV. For me, Memorial Day is about acknowledging the reality that someone else's courage is the reason that I get to do what I do, and I don't take that lightly. You know, you don't have to agree with war to honor the warrior, because it's not about politics, it's about people. It's about courage, and it's also about sacrifice. It takes a kind of bravery most of us will never be asked to show, and I'm deeply moved by that. And I definitely don't take my platform for granted. The fact that I get to speak freely, create freely, and live a life aligned with purpose is not lost on me. That freedom came at a cost. So, Memorial Day reminds me to stay grateful and to honor the men and women who gave their lives by living mine with intention, with heart, and with respect for the price that they've paid. So thank you.
What does this weekend mean to you?
Thank you so much for having me, Joy. And just watch that video. Yeah, copy. I don't have my box of tissues next to me. I forgot that. So I didn't think it'd be this powerful. What it means to me so much is that I've lost my uncle for instance. He was in the Air Force. I lost him in Vietnam, and a couple of shipmates I lost for the coal, the USS Cole, when it got bombed. People I served with, and it's just to remember and honor those people that have fallen, our friends, our family, our loved ones. And it's a somber, special time. My wife and I went to church this morning for service. They had a memorial set up for that as well. It's you can't describe the feelings that go through you, especially now, even though it's been so long. Every time, every day, you think about them all the time.
That was an impactful show, May 25th. Go watch it. And I want to hear from you ever so quickly here, Joy. It was a very we had just watched a video. You just played a video.
Yes.
They were so touched, and what got me was the service members, not only Rob, but also Daniel. They were all there in tears. And the audience, it was, how was it for you? Because it was one of the first big holidays since you've become a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes, very meaningful. And, you know, I know a lot of veterans and Daniel and Rob and was married to a veteran. And it's like, as Julianne said, freedom isn't free. What we get to do here, all of us, is because of brave men, women, everybody. So, and we have another big holiday coming up too, July 4th here. Yeah. And so it was a real honor for me to be able to host that particular show, and very, very meaningful and heartfelt. Yeah.
And you did an excellent job. Watch it, guys. Go back and watch it. Have your tissue ready. Yeah, it's another 2 boxers. So, you know, with that, we're going to go on to our next one. And what we're going to do is we're going to share a clip from this show, Cultivating Confidence to Be You. This one had a lot of really great practical tips. Let's go through.
And eventually I realized, even if I stutter or I forget what I was going to say, or my face turns red or my hands shake, all these things now that I've seen through executive coaching clients and college students, really, you survive it. And every time you survive some of that shakiness, that anxiety and fear lessens just a little, and sometimes imperceptibly almost. But it is the act of getting in the arena and practicing and then asking for feedback so you can be brave to hear how others think you could be better. I highly recommend getting a friend or coworker to talk with you briefly and confidentially after each meeting, or after any meetings where you're going to say something. Have a confidant that knows you're working on using your voice more effectively, and then ask them to give you one piece of praise and one piece of criticism. And if you keep doing that throughout life, you will definitely become more expert.
Now, I know we're going to move through this because we got to get through to the last of the shows, but I want to say is that go watch this and have your notepad ready, because Gloria, you did an excellent job. Our hosts pick the panel. You guys may wonder how we do this. They pick the panel, they get the videos, they put together the show, and you had a show that was full of practical, really great information. In fact, if you didn't write that down right now, go and write it down, because, and there's more to add to it. Wouldn't you say, Gloria?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was chock full of wonderful tips, and because we all need to be confident in everything that we do. It doesn't matter whether it's for work, but even just in talking with your spouse or your kids or something. So you've got to have that confidence. So yeah, check it out.
Perfect. Okay, and I want to recognize that we just heard that it's Canada Day right now, and our audience, we asked, what do you want to see coming in the second part of 2025? We want you guys to be sharing that with us. Now, we will be going back. We'll be writing it down. Yes, we will. Okay, I'm going to go back to back on a couple of shows right now, and then because there's one video I want to really end with, and so let's do this right now.
So we can close our eyes here and just take a moment to deeply inhale through our nose, in through our heart. Just remembering that the present moment is all that there is, that we are safe to create, to love, and to learn.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yes.
I feel much calmer.
Relationships as a father, as a great-grandfather, as a grandfather. If and I told my new wife this when we met a while back, if we can't talk, I walk. So regardless of what relationship you have, whether it's with your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's with those in life that you really care about, if you can't talk, walk. Lastly, know this. Have you ever heard you sound just like your father or look just like your mother? It's true. When I speak in schools, I tell the ninth graders, and they're like, yeah, and I don't like that. Okay, good. Well, then you need to make some changes based on what you don't like so you can change your game plan to make it better for you as you get older.
So we had practical tips from aligning your frequency, and the legacy of strength was actually Father's Day. And there were some amazing tributes to dads there, and then the rounding up to redefining success on your terms. Now we're getting to the end of the show. However, what I want to do right now is I want to play a quick clip, and then we're going to have to go to the, guys, this has been fun. No. And yet, we're on a network. We have to stay true to the time. So I'm going to play this, and then we're going to have to say, see you next week. And it's going to be an amazing week. Laughter yoga. Wink, wink. Okay. You have more to come. Okay. Here we go. Listen to this. Now, go back and watch this show, though, because you're not going to quite get it, but you will. is impactful.
You know, it was really interesting in working in coaching at a complete point of burnout. You know, she always kept saying, you need to fill your cups. You need to fill your cups. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm like, what is this proverbial magical cup? And where do I get some? Because I need a whole lot of them. And it was just like, now like defining success is like, am I happy? Like, do I feel good? Like, are my cups filled? And do I have anything else? You know, if my cups aren't filled, I say no. Like, no matter how glorious and exciting and adventurous it may seem, if I'm feeling empty, then I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to, like, learning to say no and learning to say, hey, you know what, I need a break. Like, I think in our society, they don't, like, you're not supposed to have a break. You're supposed to go all the time. Like, drink more Starbucks, take more of this, you know, keep going, caffeine up and punch it out, you know, and that literally almost killed me.
We started stating what this show is all about. It is to raise the frequency, to share the consciousness, and to share humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love. So show up next week and you're going to see a lot of humor and even more. You're going to be inspired. So with that, see you next week.